What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is April the 15th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points, don't really have a whole lot today. So it is going to be more just what happens with the broader market associated to tariffs. And that's actually some of the trending news. It's just the market is playing, or it says futures little changed as traders continue to play guess the tariffs. And honestly, that's 100% accurate. Nobody knows exactly what the hell is happening. We're just at the mercy of just the market, Trump, and obviously China as well, essentially. But Dow is down slightly, 0.17, S&P down 0.18, NASDAQ down 0.03. So somewhat flat. Of course, I think in these types of circumstances, maybe the bigger players are actually waiting for the market to open just to kind of pull back. That way they can benefit through options and so forth, because even though I'm going through pretty much the most heavily traded stocks so far this morning during the pre-market, it's still relatively low volume. So goes to show that big money is not really that involved, if that kind of makes sense. But fear and greed index has been improving, so it is under the extreme fear category. 20, meaning people's appetite for risk, has improved from the recent low of 3, which was 1 week ago. So kind of crazy stuff about that. But getting right to it, SoFi, no news, no SEC filings. It is down slightly, 0.18%. And I did a dedicated SoFi video yesterday on how it's kind of comical that Wall Street is now seeing SoFi as a fintech and not as a bank. So it's gets the worst of the worst. But Bank of America did have some pretty kick-ass earnings, so all the brick and mortar banks are moving up in accordance with that. SoFi regrettably just gets left in the dust. So that's kind of the crappy thing about Wall Street and how they really see SoFi. But 12.89% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 138.91 million shares. They did return yesterday, and so it is fair to assume, given possibly some of the momentum behind the banking sector, you could see maybe them returning a little bit more today, which would add some nice buying pressure. Aside from that, with it at $10.84, it looks like it just turned to green. So it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So $10.91 will be a key level for it to really get over early on in the trading day, and then set the trajectory for the next level, which would be $12.46. Most likely won't be touched today unless we do have some tariff reductions in some capacity. But as far as today, just watch for it to close above that 1091. Flip side, 996 will be that next strong support, and similarly I don't really see that being touched. Webull, ticker is BULL. I just have to say it, like, that is one of the most, like, the best tickers out there. I'm sure I'm surprised that hasn't been taken actually, but nonetheless, it is down 15.58%. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people are rather disappointed that options aren't a thing yet, because you could have benefited from the crazy run yesterday, 374% in the green. Similarly, a lot of people are wishing that they could buy puts, because a lot of these IPOs that go through these crazy runs eventually do settle pretty much at a 70% pullback from its highs. So you can always make money in either direction, but unfortunately no options. So there's a waiting period, usually like a week, before options do fully get kicked in and all that fun stuff. Still, with it just starting to trade on Monday, ultimately there is no real short data, no technical analysis or anything like that. So just kind of stay tuned for that. Bank of America did unveil their earnings this morning. Kick-ass stuff. It is up 1.8% because of that. 1.17% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 88.32 million shares overall are being shorted. So you can kind of see shorts have been increasing, obviously piggybacking off of the negativity in the broader market, tariffs, and clearly they as well must have assumed that Bank of America was going to miss on their earnings. So it's pleasantly positive. So again, really going to screw with them quite significantly. Right now, with it at 37 and change, it is trading between this S2 and this S3. 34.84 is going to be a strong support. don't see that being touched whatsoever. Flip side, 37.82 will be the next strong target, and that'll be a key level that you really want to watch for Bank of America to get above. And in my opinion, once the market does open, I feel like that could be achieved. And then flip side, or the next level, is 39.65. So I don't really see that being touched unless they do unveil something amazing, such as what Goldman did yesterday about a buyback or something. But just kind of watch for these support levels and resistance. So again, something to keep in mind. TMC, it did go up 45% yesterday, up 11% this morning. And the reason why it actually did go up, because there was no news, no SEC filings, nothing like that. It is because of what China did to retaliate against the states about how they are going to be ceasing any exports to the states of rare earth and the metals and all the fun jazz. So you have American-based companies really moving higher because the dependence on them is going to be like next level now. So TMC is one to really watch for. And even though a lot of people really hate the tariffs, if you catch on really fast to what China is retaliating with, same goes for the states, you could make some pretty good money. You just, again, have to act very, very fast. But 5.24% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 10.77 million shares. Shorts have been returning from the recent highs of, it looks like, around 5.86%. Nothing overly crazy, but still good to see that shorts are starting to return. They do see, obviously, the green day that did happen yesterday as justified. So again, something to keep in mind. If you're looking at trading it though, with it at 313, it is trading between this R3 and R2. 270 will be a strong support. I don't really see that being touched, at least today. Maybe if China goes back on what they stated, then yeah, you could see a pullback. So just keep that in mind. But 405 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And given the amount of momentum, maybe could be touched, maybe not today, but at least it might kind of set the trajectory for it to be touched to maybe tomorrow. But last but not least, ticker is VERV. It is up 13.59%, went up 26.38% yesterday, and that is because of this news. So as I've explained in the past, biotechs aren't really my forte and whatever else. So just go through this kind of PR, and if it's, you obviously do your own due diligence at the end of the day to see if it's justified or not. But 26.15% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 16.99 million shares. Shorts did return quite a lot yesterday, as you can kind of see. So good to see. That's obviously one attributing factor why it did move higher yesterday, but it looks as though it wants to continue that today, even though no actual news today or whatever else. But with it at $4.71 so far during the pre-market, trading between this pivot and this S1. So 444 will be a strong support. Flip side, 531 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And given the momentum of it so far this morning, I could see this pivot point being touched. So if you're a day trader, just kind of keep that in mind. With all that, let me know your thoughts. Is there any other stocks that's floating your boat this morning? Or are you kind of worried about tariffs? What's your general 2 cents? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. It's definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.